Round 6 of MotoGP in 2023, the Italian Grand Prix. The sun is shining for the Mugello race, and as the lights go out, we are underway here in the sunshine, and Pecco Bagnaia with a great launch. But look at Jack Miller on the KTM. He's past the Ducati before the end of pit lane, and Miller's going to lead them down into turn 1 on the inside. That looks like one of the Pramac bikes of Johan Zarco perhaps coming through, but it's going to be Miller who leads the way. The Aussie's done it, but Bagnaia straight away up the hill they go through Luco and Poggio Secco. Bagnaia fights back, and as the Pramac bike lines up in 4th place, it's excellent to see that start from Johan Zarco.
Yeah, Bagnaia super aggressive. He's going to try and do what we saw and we know he's capable of. If he can get in the lead, have a clear track in front of him, he will attack and he'll try and stretch the field straight away.
My apologies, it's Jorge Martin. They've got a new livery on the bike we haven't seen. We only saw him warm up earlier today, and it's Martin as Marini attacks Jack Miller down through the Casanova Cervelli complex, and Martin is now going to get through. Marini had to be compromised there, and so he's forced to sit up. Marc Marquez is ahead of his brother Alex in 5th place, and then in 7th it looks like Brad Binder's got through on Marco Bezzecchi. Excellent from him, having started 11th. But it's
Marquez.
What happened there with Marquez?
Well, it looked like he lost a little bit of control under the brakes, nearly ran into the back of Luca Marini, but he managed to scrape it all back together somehow.
Is that a bit of turbulence perhaps? So it dragged him into the corner behind.
I think it's a bit
maybe
of
the front lock.
It's just Marc Marquez being Marc. Well, we have seen him lock the front in the past. That's what happened, if you remember, in Portugal at round 1.
So it's Bagnaia leading. Miller is in 2nd place. Said he was going to be fired up for it today after a little bit of disappointment yesterday on a couple of occasions. He's gone with the soft rear tyre, so he's in 2nd place. You've got Jorge Martin in 3rd. And I talked about Zarco. It was, of course, Martin making a good start. Zarco had a stinker. He's down to 11th place. One of the riders you might have felt could have given Bagnaia a run for his money today. We go on board with the former world champion Fabio Quartararo, but he's behind his teammate Frankie Morbidelli at 12th and 13th for the Yamaha men.
Yeah, that's an impressive first lap for Francesco Bagnaia. Half a second lead over the line, but Jorge Martin, I tell you what, is building in confidence. He's going to have to attack on this lap if he wants to try and clove that back.
Let's have a look at Marini again. Is he going to try that one on the cutback?
Oh, Miller actually left him room there, which was the right thing to do, because he could sense it coming. Look how close it is.
And it is, and as that happens, Marc Marquez is just seeing if there's a little bit of a gap for him to be able to sneak through also.
Come mid-race distance, it might not be the tyre to be on. Yeah, fastest lap of the race, Jorge Martin, 46.8.
Oh, here comes Marc Marquez on the inside. He's going to go through on 3 of them. Brilliant from Marc Marquez, because Alex Márquez opened the door. Marc came through, and as we actually go up the hill once more, Luca Marini recovers to 3rd place. Jack Miller had a look up and a sit around and a look at what are you doing in there? We need to see that one again.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I don't know what really happened there. 5 to 6 miles an hour, and by then you're going to just miss the apex.
We've already had in this race, Fabio Gian Antonio match last year's all-time record, which was smashed yesterday by Brad Binder. He's done a 225.9 already in the early parts of this race. He's back in 16th. Until the latter stages of the race.
Yeah, laps to go.
Oh, Marquez is down. He tried so hard to save it into Vicine. You could see the front was washing away. Perhaps that softer rear tyre just pushing the front down in there. But that front is so fickle on the Honda that Marc Marquez has crashed out of 4th place in this race.
And don't you feel like he stood there looking down at his motorcycle saying, what can I do?
What do you want me to do with this?
What do you want me to do? I can ride round, like he said, half a second the lap slower, or I'll push and try my best. He's a little bit wide there. You can actually see the slightly dirtier part of the track, but the problem is the only way you can make time, watch this, he'll close in on the brakes, and this is what he does.
So at the front, Pecco Bagnaia leads. The gap just opened ever so slightly on that previous lap. 0.6 of a second between himself and Martin. Can Martin produce anything? This is Jack Miller going backwards, unfortunately for him, behind Marco Bezzecchi now. His teammate Brad Binder is up in 6th. He looks to have squeezed past him again on the straight. That KTM is a rocket ship, and they are Jack Miller's own words.
Yep.
And it used to be the Loris Capirotti fans, or Andrea Vizioso had them up on Cervelli. Valentino Rossi's always around the Poggio Secco section of the racetrack. Yellow flag's gone out in the 3rd sector. Not quite sure who that is. Brad Binder also motoring here, Neil. I wouldn't rule Brad Binder out of a shot at the podium either in this situation.
Yeah, Binder time, isn't it? He gets to this point. If he doesn't get a good start, what he's able to do, he's always able to be consistent. And we talk about Brad Binder as an individual. He is as hard, as gritty as they come. There is no quitting Brad Binder.
You know what? Twice this year it's not been his fault. He's been collected by the riders. It caused him a serious shoulder injury and meant he missed a couple of races before coming back this weekend. Oliveira, as Alex Márquez, is he going to be able to squeeze through? No, a little squirt from Luca Marini mid-corner, and Marini's back. Well, Alex Márquez is a fearsome competitor. He's desperate for a little piece of Marini here.
Alex Márquez has had about 3 or 4 looks there, and thankfully he backed out of all of them because none of them were on. Yeah, we saw it a little bit actually yesterday with Zarco. He used to be really aggressive as well, and I think just over the past couple of seasons, I was going to slipstream past. Yeah.
He'll choose that inside line again.
He's going to have another go at this.
Going to try and get it stopped with the early block.
He just made sure he got a little bit closer to Luca Marini just to disturb him. Slightly, I wouldn't say dirty, it was aggressive, good little tactic.
And he also, what he did there, he's just made sure that there was no way for Marini to slip back through on the inside of him. He just levelled him, didn't he? Yeah, and just stayed with him.
It levelled him and just wandered over towards him just to go, this is my corner.
Over the years, Luca Marini is like a Jack Russell with the trouser leg of Alex Márquez between his teeth. And Márquez has gone. Alex Márquez has crashed out. As we said, that's the pressure from behind. That's hearing that Ducati behind you. That's Marini, as we were saying, keeping the pressure on, not letting go. And Alex Márquez has succumbed, unfortunately. The switch to Ducati has seen him fighting much more towards the sharp end of the field, but unfortunately the crashes aren't being cut out. We saw that earlier when he got past Brad Binder. That's beautiful. The problem he's going to have here is Luca Marini going to be able to draft past him. I think he is.
Well, Luca's better on the brakes into turn 1. That is what we've learned over the last 2 laps. And yet again, can he get it stopped? Because he's a slightly tighter line. Zarco might
turn on back. Oh, great shots from the helicopter there as Luca Marini reclaims the podium position.
Here we go.
From Joan Zarco, and again, it's up the hill. In Poggio Secco, in front of the Rossi fan club. And he's going to level him again. Now into the next corner. Materassi, Borgo San Lorenzo, and Zarco stays ahead on this occasion, making his bike as wide as possible through the S section up the hill. And now he has got in front, and he's just got to try and gap through this flowing section.
I think what you're experiencing here, we've talked about it in commentary, how difficult it is to pass round here.
But he still managed to bring it home for a full complement of 12 points. It looks as though he's going to get the clean sweep here. He's taken the all-time lap record this weekend. He's taken the pole position. He's taken the sprint race victory, and he could be about to make it a full 37 points. 25 today and 12 from Saturday for Pecco Bagnaia. Joan Zarco appears, it seems, to have broken Luca Marini finally, but credit to Marini with injury to still be going at it at this stage of the race.
Yeah, he will sleep tonight. They've a few days off, then off to Germany, to the very quirky, I mean, you can't get more of an opposite track. The Saxon Ring, it's a real small, it's like a little go-kart track compared to this beautiful old school flowing circuit. So, yeah, the riders will have a couple of days off. You won't be doing much training in between. It'll be more like just resting and recovering, and preparing yourself for the challenge of the Saxon Ring.
On board we go with the reigning world champion. Ma quanto è bello il Mugello, it says on his helmet. Just how beautiful is Mugello? For him today, it is picture perfect as he comes through Pelagio corner for the final time. The gap may be closing slightly between himself and Martin, between Martin and Zarco, but this surely is how it's going to finish in the Italian Grand Prix. What you wouldn't give to be on those hillsides, watching all the Bagnaia and Ducati fans cheering him through into the final corner now, because Pecco Bagnaia, for the 2nd year in succession, is going to run out victorious in his home Grand Prix here at Mugello. A perfect day, a perfect weekend for Ducati. Their 5th win in 6 years at Mugello in the Italian Grand Prix. And Pecco Bagnaia extends his lead in the World Championship with his 3rd victory of the season. The Pramac duo join him on the podium. A great day for Ducati's satellite team. Luca Marini is 4th with Brad Binder in 5th. Aleix Espargaro just pips Jack Miller to the line. Marco Bezzecchi, I would say a disappointing 8th place for him across the line ahead of Enea Bastianini with Frankie Morbidelli sneaking in front of Fabio Quartararo across the line. He'll be pleased with that one as he looks for an extension to his Yamaha contract. Vinales, Nakagami, Di Gianantonio and Augusto Fernandez round up the point scoring positions, but no doubt about your race winner. It's the reigning world champion and championship leader, has dominated on his Ducati. He's done it again. Bagnaia wins the Italian Grand Prix.